Okay, so in this video we're going to talk about powers of I. So to evaluate problems concerning powers of I, there are some rules that you need to know. Okay, so first of all, I is equals to square root of minus 1. Okay, so when we are talking about powers of I, we're going to be saying I, things like I square. So I square equals to square root of minus 1 square. Okay, so the square will cancel out the square root, and then we have minus 1. So I squared is equal to minus 1. So when we have I cube, this would also mean, we could also say this is I squared times I. Okay, because if we add up the powers of I here, this is powers of 2 and powers of 1. So this should be equal to I squared, we know it to be minus 1. So minus 1 times I is still I. So this is I. And then this is equal to minus I. Okay. So when we have I to the power of 4, we know that I squared times I squared. Okay, so I squared is giving us minus 1 times minus 1. So this is equal to minus 1 times minus 1 is 1. So basically, for any problem that you're going to solve, you just need to break the I values into powers of 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then use it to solve the particular problem. Okay, so let's take a few examples. Okay, so for our first example, let's say we have I to the power of 5. Okay, so I to the power of 5 can be broken down into, say, I to the power of 4 times I. Okay, so I to the power of 4, we know I to the power of 4 to be equal to 1 times I. Okay, so this is equal to I. Okay, so if we take another example, say I to the power of 6. Okay, so I to the power of 6 can be broken down into 2, 2, 2, 3 times, but we can also break it down into 2 I raised to the power of 4 times I to the power of 2. Okay, so this is also equal to I to the power of 4 is 1, I to the power of 2 is times minus 1. Okay, so 1 times minus 1 is equal to minus 1. Okay, so we can also make this thing I to the power of 6. Say we want to solve this problem and break it down into different form. We could say I to the power of 6 is I to the power of 2 times I to the power of 2 times I to the power of 2. Okay, so this could also mean, this thing could be interpreted as I to the power of 2 to the power of 3 outside, so we have 3 cubed. So we know that I to the power of 2, which is inside this bracket, is equal to minus 1, and then we have a cube root outside. Okay, so I minus 1 cube is equal to minus 1. Okay, so it's still the same thing as this one, regardless of how much you break the power. So if I get the values, the broken down values, you should get your answer. Okay, so let's say we have another example. Say I to the power of 30. I to the power of 30. Now I'd like you to pause the video and try this one out yourself. Okay, so for I to the power of 30, it's still the same thing. We could say I to the power of 30 is equal to I to the power of 4. I to the power of 4 times I to the power of 4 times 7. That should give us 4 times 7 is 28 times I to the power of 2. Okay, so we know that this is equal to I to the power of 4 here is 1 to the power of 7 times I to the power of 2 is negative 1. Okay, so this is I to the power of 1 to the power of 7. We've broken down this I here, so we now have 1. 1 to the power of 7 is equal to 1 times minus I. So 1 times minus 1, not minus I. So 1 times minus 1 is equal to minus 1. So this means that I to the power of 30 is minus 1. Okay. So let's still take another example. So if we have I to the power of 42, how do we solve this problem? You can also pause the video and try this one out yourself. So for this problem, we'll say I to the power of 42. Now we can break down 42 into I to the power of 4. So this should happen 10 times. So 4 times 10 is 40. So we have 2 remaining. So times I to the power of square. Okay. So we know that I to the power of 4 is equal to 1 to the power of 10 times I to the power of 2 is negative 1. So 1 to the power of 10 is 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. Okay, so let's quickly take another example. So say we have I to 100. Okay, so I to 100, we know that I to 100 can be broken down into I to the power of 4. Okay, so 4 times 25 could also be equal to 100. Okay, so I to the power of 4 is equal to 1. Okay, so 1 times 25, 1 to the power of 25 is equal to 1. Okay, so we can also, let's just take another last example. So we could say I to the power of 600. So I to the power of 600 is still equal to I to the power of 4. Okay, and I to the power of 6, this could be 150 to the power of 150. Okay, so I to the power of 4 is 1 to the power of 150 is still equal to 1. Okay, so basically you break it down into those simpler forms of 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you power them. Okay, you can power them and then use them to solve your problems. Okay, so if you like the video, share with your friends, subscribe to the channel, it helps, and leave a thumbs up. Thanks for watching the video.